Good morning, good evening, good night, depending on when you're listening or whatever time zone you're in. You are listening to the commentator, aka the voice of reason, aka all I do is commentate. As you can tell from my voice, I've not experienced the winning the league in the last 14 years. Thus, I am an Arsenal fan, indeed. I'm going to talk about all things Arsenal, plus more. So, the question going on right about now, or for a while now actually, which was bothering me, I have to make a step into the social media atmosphere to clear it out, is when is Arsene Wenger going to leave? First and foremost, I can guarantee you that Arsene Wenger is not leaving until the end of his contract before anything else. Even if Arsenal do win the Europa, or if France win the World Cup, or I don't know, if pigs fly from the sky, I don't know. But he's not leaving the club. What I do want to say is that if you take the last two letters off Arsenal and put an E on it, that's basically his name. So in some respects, Arsene Wenger, funnily enough, is actually Arsenal, and we're going to go into that a bit deeper. If you take what he said himself, he goes, "I have been here for 21 years. I've always respected my contract, so I'm quite amazed that you asked me the question." So what Wenger is saying is, why are you asking him the question? He leaves when he wants. He does what he wants. And we're going to talk about why Wenger has such, not power, but he has the roaming ability, if that makes sense. He has the 4G data. He has the data. He can roam wherever he wants and leave whenever he wants. We'll talk about that, why Wenger has that and why most managers don't. What does winning the Europa mean? It just means we've salvaged a bad season, in my eyes. It doesn't mean anything more. We are outside the top four. We are battling with the likes of Burnley, behind us. Do you get what I'm saying? I've never been Burnley in my life. I'm assuming it's a nice place, but as you can see, it's not where we want to be. So if we just look at this year, 2018, the losses, it began with the artful loss to Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. Then after that, Bournemouth in the league, Swansea in the league, Tottenham in the league, Man City Carabao Cup final. And then we got Brighton. We lost to Brighton in the league. Then today, we lost to Newcastle 2-1. And, I'm not surprised we haven't lost. Well, most of those teams on paper, we should be beating. With a squad like ours, which I'm not saying is the best, but we should be beating those teams. So don't get me wrong, we can't win every match, but at the same time, with the squad we have on paper, those are winnable games. And in this industry of managers, this is a very specific industry. You got managers on millions a year. I think Wenger's at 7 or 8. So it's a winning industry. If you look at even the clubs that are always around relegation, they're changing managers more than people are changing socks. I don't know, but well, hopefully you're changing socks more than managers, but the industry is winning. If you look at Claudio Ranieri, primary example, with Leicester, he won the league, he won the season, he won the Premier League with Leicester. Then a year later, or I think it was less than a year later, then he won it. But the next season, he got sacked because the club was not moving forward. So that. Obviously, that's their owners, but that's the intention. What you did last season doesn't mean anything. You get what I'm saying? It's about the revenue, the profits. They got all their spreadsheets where they're forecasting and all sorts. Obviously, this big money came in from winning the league. The Chinese investors probably celebrated a fantastic Chinese New Year. You know what I'm saying? There was probably chicken chow mein, special fried, I heard they bought all the players got that new BMW looking like came out of Transformers, all that sort of stuff, but they had their profits of what they want in the future, and obviously where they were in that whatever position they was or the performances they had, the chairman or the chairmans sat down and then, Claudio had to go. The Italian, the Godfather, he had to go. That's what happens sometimes, But if we look at Arsenal, it's all about results. But where Wenger is a bit different, I believe that before we moved out of Highbury, Wenger's role changed. Instead of being the manager of Arsenal Football Club, he became the economist. This is where his economics degree comes in. So Arsenal decided to move into Highbury decided to move from Highbury into the Emirates, my apologies, in 2006. And instead of doing it the normal way, which teams normally do, with, like, for example, bank loans or gaining a lot of debt, what Wenger basically said is, I'm going to help you move into a new house, but you don't need to go to the bank for it. So through Arsenal PLC, it self-facilitated the whole move. And how did they do that? With income. So season tickets, day tickets, all these sort of things, merchandise, selling the best players. That was a problem that the fans didn't understand. But Wenger had to sell his best players because that money that he was getting from the players weren't going back into buying new players, but was facilitating the move into the Emirates. They done it all on their own, if that makes sense. They through all the income that the company makes globally and all merchandise, all these things, they didn't need to get a hefty debt by going to the bank or whoever to get this money from. The owner didn't put in any of his money himself. So the club itself facilitated its own move into Emirates. But Wenger headed all of this. So the likes of Henry and all these players had to go. Then you got the new model of buying them cheap and them training them and getting them, playing the youngsters. It's not because Wenger basically loved kids or he's some sort of like paedophile or whatever. What he did was based on the economy. If you don't have the money, you can't go out and spend. Back in the days, he couldn't go and spend against the likes of Man United and that. But now it's Man City and like the global giants and PSG. But even back then, we didn't have it. Only now it's changed a bit, but I'll go into why. But that's mainly the reason why. He was not thinking about our performances in the league wasn't a concern for the owner. You need to understand, Stan Kroenke hasn't put money into the club. He just wants the club to look after itself without him stepping in. So Wenger is doing that job for him, which is why Wenger's been in the job for many, many years, because he's been very good at facilitating that move. His KPIs, if anyone knows what KPIs means, but his targets are not for Arsenal. Finish top four, I think, because obviously you get the money from finishing top four. But his KPIs are not to win the league. His KPIs is to keep the books afloat. Do you get what I'm saying? That makes more money for Stan. And that's what Stan's about. He's a money man. If the money comes in, it's not really about the performances. He doesn't mind hit FA Cup here and there, keep the fans happy. But at the end of the day, what the fans say compared to the money he's going to make is two completely different things. So that's what I believe we need to understand. Wenger's a very, very good economist. He should have been on Wall Street with those guys, stockbrokers, all these investment guys. But I don't know his coaching abilities. I don't really know what he does. We only see him on a Saturday or Sunday when he's sitting on the bench trying to zip up his coat. We don't really know what this guy does behind closed doors. Is he there with graphs and charts? Is he a spreadsheet man? He's a very, very professional man. Don't get me wrong, I'm not slaughtering the guy. He's a very, very professional man. But we have to look at between the coach and the economist. That is a very, very particular thing we Arsenal fans need to understand. So he was already, like I said, Stan Kroenke, Wenger is making Stan Kroenke a very happy man. So Stan, as I said, I think Stan would only care if Arsenal get relegated, to be honest. That's the only time he would fly down and be at every Arsenal game. So not having Champions League money has hurt his pockets, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't emptied it. Finishing top four has not emptied it. And obviously now, due to the climate, we got Liverpool back, we got Man City involved, we got Tottenham perking up, So we are being marginalised at the moment, If we look at the model, apparently we basically get the model of Leicester. They didn't spend a lot yet, won the league, but that was a freak. Sometimes these things happen. I don't think it'll happen again. So what does Arsene Wenger represent? Arsene Wenger represents a man who does not take no for an answer, or the rational route. He has done very well facilitating this move, and I think because of that, he has added a couple extra years to his plate rather than these other managers. Whereas you have the manager and the owner, who the owner puts in their money and he wants performances, he hires the manager. The manager doesn't do the job, the manager's out. We got Kroenke, who is just sitting back, chilling, whilst Wenger's managing the books, keeping him comfortable. So Stan's like, you know what, you're doing a great job in my eyes. We don't need to win trophies because he's making me money that I've not even put in. So apart from when he bidded for the club or whatever. Whenever he made his investment into the club, he hasn't had to make extra after that. But I do think his days are numbered now. It has worn off. We moved in at 2006. Come on, it's 2018. So it's been overdue. He is coming to an end. And I think now the board are just looking at the best way of replacement for him, because they understand that for the team to compete with the likes of Man City or the teams now, we would need more income. We would need them to start pumping in money. So I don't know if he's looking for a younger Wenger or what, but some of these managers that are coming in will need a bigger checkbook than what Wenger had. I do not believe Wenger had access to the money he was talking about. If he did, I don't understand why he didn't buy the players. That's the thing. You buy good players, you win the league. He has managed great players. Henri, Bergkamp. He knows a good player rather to a bad one. He knows when Squillaci walks in and he sees him on the training pitch on the Tuesday afternoon or whatever. He knows that guy doesn't compare to Steve Bold's on the bench, but Steve Bold or Wenger's facilitated like dead food, dead waste. He's facilitated that, but I think it's because of the budget he's on. So he's looking at it differently. But to compete, for example, I think Arsenal, we've got two teams. We've got the attacking team and a defensive team. They're two different units. The attacking team, I think, is fine now. We've looked at that. We've brought in people like their likes of Aubameyang and Lacazette. I think that will do all right. It's just about putting them in the right position, but that's not a big deal. We can sort that out. My concern is the defense. The defense is what helps you win a trophy. And I think and I don't know, but Wenger's leaving. As I said, he's leaving at the end of his contract. He's not leaving before. So I don't know if he'll really focus on it this season before he goes, or for the new manager to. That whole back four needs to go. And Steve Bold, I'm afraid you need to go. You were a centre-back, or either not need to go, or he wasn't able to teach his tactics, because I'm surprised at how adept we are in not defending. There's an art to defend. Do you get what I'm saying? There's art to defend. Every man in that Arsenal squad has if they're not married, they have a girlfriend or whatever. They know how to defend. If someone tries to approach their, let's say, girl, whatever, they have to know how to defend them. Do you know what I'm saying? And as a footballer, as a defender, should I say specifically, you should know how to defend as a unit and individually. Do you get what I'm saying? You can't be looking shaky on Sky Sports 1. Everyone the world to see. Got Mustafi asking, check to get the ball. You clear the ball. This is Sunday League stuff. Look how many teams Sunday League teams are in on YouTube now. Look at how they're defending. They defend as a unit. They understand. I'm surprised how you got teams that don't know how to defend. I would even give them free coaching drills on how to defend. There's an art to defend. There's an art to clean sheets. Obviously, you do need a good goalkeeper, but you as the back four, you all need to understand your roles. The centre-back partnership needs to be... The centre-back partnership is the most important partnership in the team. Those two guys need to be having breakfast, lunch and dinner together outside of work. They need to be best mates, covering each other's backs. It's like doing a bank job. Well, let's not talk about that. But they have to communicate. That's all I'm trying to say. They have to communicate. So going a bit off track there. But yeah, as I said, Wenger, his days are numbered. His days are numbered indeed. But it's about who's going to come in and do the next job. Stan's not going anywhere, for everyone thinking. Usmanov, unless he teams up with someone else, I don't know. But Stan is staying. Arsenal is the best profitable investment he has made. Since he's put his money in, that money's been rolling over. Arsenal season tickets are the highest in the league, I've been told. Do you know what I'm saying? The merchandise goes off the roof. You buy a player like Sanchez, everyone's buying Sanchez shirts, Aubameyang shirts. The fans put their money, their hard-earned money for the club. And that goes all the way back to Stan. So people need to understand. Wenger, he is an not investment guy. He's that word. He's an economist. That's what Wenger is. You see him with his interviews, being very tactical. He's a very tactical man. Do you get what I'm saying? He's not the guy that will be roughing up players for not clearing the ball out or whatever. Don't get me wrong, he will be a bit passionate about that, but he's not going to sit down with you after a match, 1-to-1 and be like, why did you do it? He's a very calm calm, collected man. He's a very, very respected man. I think Wenger should leave Arsenal and go and manage France. Because they only meet up how many times a year? He won't need to see anyone. That's Wenger. He doesn't want to be in front of the mic. He's uncomfortable when they ask him all these sorts of questions. I think he's probably a house man. He likes being indoors. So if I was Wenger, because I know he's addicted to football, and he has nothing else to do. So after you leave Arsenal, go get a French job, try and win France the World Cup or whatever. But for Arsenal Football Club to move forward, we are a football team. We play football. 11 players on the pitch playing football. We are not like just an investment. And I think that's where we went differently. Because Emirates, we had more seats now, more people. So they just looked at it very differently, which is why our league performance has been affected. But yeah, as I said, all I do is commentate. We had a poor performance today against Newcastle. I'm not upset. With Arsenal now, we can lose every game. There's no game where we can now say we're going to win. If you have been an Arsenal fan for the last, I'll just even put 10 years, you would know that. We're not, you cannot say, I'm confident we're going to win this game. We can lose any game. Depends what Arsenal side turn up, whether we start fast or not. And this is leading into my next episode, where I'm going to talk about how we can beat Atletico, because I believe we can. I believe the draw is even better now we're in 2 legs, because it depends what Arsenal team turn up. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'll run through how we can win the important partnerships, how we should play, how we should set up, how we should defend. This is free advice. So as I said, I've had to make a step into the social media world. I didn't want to. I liked being behind closed doors. No face, no case, as they would say. But we have to communicate these things to the fans. I want to get some of the fans involved as well. Their discussions, what they think about this. As I said, Arsene Wenger, BSc, Bachelors of Science or whatever he is. Bachelors of, mate, the guy's he got a master's in economics or whatever. Yeah, that's what he is. He's not the greatest tactician. Tell me one tactical play this guy has made. Maybe, obviously, sometimes substitutions, but I blame that. But that's more the player. The player comes on and changes the team. And we can talk about who needs to go, who needs to stay. This is the first episode, the introduction. So, yeah, cast your thoughts in the comments below, as everyone would say. Get involved. Get the hashtags in. Get everyone in. But yeah, peace out.